Right. So this is the next problem, which is on our Kaplan turbine. Okay. So same thing again. He's asking one more extra point. That is your specific speed here. Right. So please copy the question. So a Kaplan turbine runner is to be designed. Right. So you won't give anything like diameter and all. Right. So we need to design it to develop a power of 7,357.5 kilowatt shaft power. Yes, I think my voice is clear.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So the net head available is 5.50 meter. And assuming the speed ratio as 2.09, so speed ratio is given. So U1 by under root of 2GH is 2.09. And again, he has given flow ratio, that is VF1 by under root of 2GH is 0.68. Right? So we can find U1 from speed ratio, and from flow ratio, we can find VF1. And the overall efficiency is given as 60%. So overall efficiency, if we have head values, we can find discharge, and we can find diameters also if it is not given. Right. So the discharge of the boss. So since it is Kaplan turbine, remember it is axial flow reaction turbine, where discharge is taken as already I said for Kaplan turbine, discharge capital Q equal to pi by 4 into D naught square minus DB square into VF1, where D naught is nothing but diameter of the turbine or outer wheel, and DB is the diameter of the hub. Right. So that's why he'll give the boss DB. Boss or other names are also there like hub, HUB. Okay. So remember the words for the Kaplan turbine. Okay, so he has given the diameter of the boss DB is 1/3 of the diameter of the runner as D naught. So DB equal to 1/3 times of D naught. Find the diameter of the runner. So we need to find the D naught value and the speed N value as well as the specific speed NS. So if you know NS can be calculated only when we know power and speed. But specific speed is N root T. So that's why we need first speed, then only we can find specific speed. Right? So Kaplan turbine. So it is very important to know what are the things to be used. Nothing but discharge formula will be different for Kaplan turbine, and it will discharge different for Francis and all. Remember that values. Right. So first given data we'll write down. So given what he has given first, power. So shaft power or power is given 7357.5 kilowatt. Next, at a head of H is given 5.50 meter. Okay. Next, assuming the speed ratio, and this one is given, and overall efficiency 60%. So it is 0.6. Next, one more condition he has given: diameter of boss is equals to 1/3 of diameter of the runner, D naught. Right. So two more things, that is speed ratio and flow ratio. So by using this directly we'll find U1 and VF1. Right. Just copy the question. So if you're copied, I'll go for the next slide. Inform me after copying the question. We'll start with the solution.
Done, sir.
Right. So first we'll take the speed ratio which is given. So speed ratio right? In some questions he has given as symbol for speed ratio also as 5. Remember, in one or two problems we have seen already. So speed ratio is U1 by under root of 2GH. U1 by under root of 2GH. Whatever. Yes, you are able to see the screen.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Something happened for me. Okay. So which is given, the value of speed ratio is given as 2.09. Right. So from this you can find U1. So U1 equal to 2.09 into under root of 2 into 9.81 into H. is
21.71.
how much? 30?
21.710.
Okay. 21.71 meter per second. Right. So this is the speed ratio given. So next he has given the flow ratio also. So flow ratio is VF1. Flow. The word, whenever you see the flow, you can remember it as VF under root of 2GH is equals to 0.68. 0.68. So from this we can find VF1 equal to 0.68 into under root of 2GH. So
7.063.
7.063 meter per second. Right. So these things already given in the question. So it is easy for finding U1 and VF1. Right. So here if you see, we can find D if we have U1, because U is also equal to, formula is there, that is pi D naught n by 60 here in case of Kaplan, pi D naught n by 60. But I think in the question he has not given speed. So we cannot use this now. After finding speed, we can use this, right? So if speed is also given in the question, we can use this and find the diameter, which is unknown, right? So now we don't know speed as well as anything. Diameter also we don't know. So first we'll use the other things which has given in the question. So he has given efficiency. So we can use this efficiency for finding discharge first, right? So efficiency overall efficiency equal to P by water power, which is nothing but P by rho G Q H by 1000. The overall efficiency, how much is given? Overall efficiency value 60% is equals to 0.6. S3. Okay, so from this, what we need to find, we can find discharge Q.
To 27.272.
Yes, repeat it once.
227.272.
Something is wrong. It is not working. Two
272.
272 meter cube per second. Okay. 227.272 meter cube per second is your discharge value, right? So already we know that discharge formula in the Kaplan turbine is capital Q equal to pi by 4 into D naught square minus dP square into VF1, right? So we don't have this separately, but there is one condition given in the question. What is that? dB equal to 1 by 3 times of D naught. So we can substitute in place of dB as 1 by 3 D naught, and already we have discharge value already we have calculated, so we can find D naught value, right? So what we can write, it is 227.272 is equals to pi by 4. I'm taking D naught square as common. So inside here D naught square came out, so it will be 1 minus here dB is nothing but 1 by 3 into 1 by 3 into d naught. So what d naught already took out. So inside it will be 1 by 3 square. That is 1 by 9. Okay, I am doing like this. You can do in any way. However it is remembered for you. It will be easy for you. However you want, you can do. I took d naught square common and I substituted here dp as 1 by 3 into d naught. So 1 by 9 will come inside and d naught square will be outside. And what is the value of VF1 we calculated? 7.063. 7.063. So from this now you can find first d naught square will come, then you can find under root of that to get d naught.
6.789.
6.789 units will be meter, right? So d naught we found out. So can we find dB now? How to find dB?
1 by 3 into d naught.
Right, very good. So already he has said that dB is 1 by 3 of d naught. So d naught value is already there. So just divide the value by 3. You'll get dB value as 2 point something you'll get. Tell me that.
263, sir.
263.
3.
Right, thank you. 2.263 meter is your dB value. Right. So what he asked in the question, you see first, find the diameter of the runner. So we found out d naught. And next is asking to find the speed and specific speed. So now we need to find the speed. So now I think we got the diameter values are there. So now you can use u value to find the n value, because u is also taken as for finding n, you can use d, that is pi d naught n, pi d naught n by 60. So now we have u1 value as well as d naught value. So d naught just now calculated 6.789 and u we already used here 21.71. So substitute both the values u1 and d naught, then you can find speed of the turbine. So speed n equal to
61.073.
61.073 RPM. Right. So last thing what he asked is specific speed. So specific, by directly is a symbol. So next we need to find specific speed. Ns equal to n root p by h power 5 by 4. So n value is there. Power he has given in the question 7357.5 kilowatt. Substitute the value there and then substitute the value of h to find the specific speed.
621.975.
621.97.
957, sir.
Okay, 957. I'll change it. Okay, so 621.957 RPM is your specific speed.
Sir, 622.748.
622 or 21? Right, check it,
21,
right?
sir.
Okay, 21 or 22, approximately same only. Just check whatever you are getting, you can write. Not that much change is available, just write down. 21.9 is almost equal to 622 only, no problem. Okay, every time before starting your exam, please reset your calci every time. Don't forget to do that. Okay, reset the calci, then start calculating. Right, so if you have completed this, if you copied this, we'll go for the next topic. Yes, can I go for the next topic? Okay, next hour also I'm going to continue.
Yes, sir.
One second. So you can see the just one small diagram here. So nothing but this is just a idle power plant. You can see here, this is a turbine. And already we know from the penstock, the water will come and hit the turbine blades. Then the water should go out of the turbine, right? So directly they can't go because of the kinetic energy available there. So what we are going to use is we are going to keep a tube there that is called as draft tube. Already I have shown the diagram there. So this is other type of diagram you can see, you can understand. Movement of water coming from the penstock, then rotates the turbine, then the water should come out to the tail race by means of this draft tube, right? So the next topic is nothing but draft tube theory. We are going to learn something about draft tube. So that's why I'm showing this first one. Draft tube is nothing but the tube of varying cross-sectional area connected at the outlet of the turbine by which the water should come out, through which the water should come out, right? So draft tube is a tube with varying cross-sectional, but cross-sectional area will be different at any section, like a conical shape or many shapes are there, right? So draft tube is a tube which is connected at the outlet of the turbine with varying cross-section. Okay. This is something about the draft tube theory, right? So because draft tube, sometimes they are asking us theory question also they are asking. Okay, so a little bit information we need to know about the draft tube and what is the purpose of the draft tube, right? So this is something about the draft tube I'm going to read. So you can see here. So draft tube, already I said, it is a pipe of gradually increasing area which connects the outlet of the runner to the tail race, right? So from after finishing of the work in the turbine, the water should come out to the tail race. So a tube is connected there with varying cross-sectional area so that the water discharges from the exit of the turbine to the tail race. So tail race is nothing but the water level after finishing the work where we'll collect the tail race is the tail race water, right? So the pipe is generally of increasing cross-sectional area, right? So one end of the draft tube will be connected to the outlet of the runner, and while the other will be this one is connected to the outlet of the turbine, and the other end will be dipped in the tail race, nothing but it will be immersed in the tail race where already water will be existing, right? The draft tube, the purpose of draft tubes are two purposes are there. So one is it permits a negative head to establish at the outlet of the runner, but inside if you see there will be a drop of pressure inside. So vacuum pressure will be created inside because the pressure which is inside will be slightly converted into kinetic energy. So there what we need to do, the pressure will be dropped there. So to send that vacuum pressure outside, we need to keep a draft tube there so that the water will come out, right? So that is one purpose of your draft tube. And one more thing is it converts large portion of kinetic energy rejected at the outlet of the turbine into the useful pressure energy, right? That is other purpose of the draft. These 2 points are very important, right? So without the draft tube, what happens? The kinetic energy rejected at the outlet of the turbine will go waste to the tail race. So what draft tube will do? It will utilize all the kinetic energy generated inside, then only the water will come out through the draft tube, right? So hence by using the draft tube, what happens? The net head on the turbine increases, nothing but there won't be any wastage of your energy which is generated, kinetic energy. So by the use of draft tube, the whole kinetic energy will be used inside, right? So what happens if the whole kinetic energy will be used? The power will be generated more, or the efficiency of the turbine will be increasing because of the draft tube. Okay, so this is some theory part about the draft tube, and there are different types of draft tubes, right? So depending upon the shapes they are named. So here you can see, so conical draft tube, it just looks like a cone. So mostly they'll use this conical type only, or they will use this Moody spreaded. Okay, conical draft tube is this one, and you can see here. So this part is connected to the turbine, outlet of the turbine where the water will come out. From this, the water will then enter into the tail race. This is the part which is called as tail race, where the outlet water will be collected, or it will be again circulated depending upon the situation, right? So this is the tail race, and this is the head available inside above the tail race value, right? And this is a simple elbow type of draft tube, elbow shaped, and here this is called as Moody spreading tubes. Spelling is here, you can see Moody, M-O-O-D-Y, spreading tubes. Next, the last one is this one. It is also elbow type, but what happens at the inlet, the cross-sectional area will be circle, and at the outlet it becomes as a rectangular outlet. Cross-sectional area becomes your rectangular part. Here you can see outlet is your rectangular part, and the inlet of this will be a circular thing. Okay, so these are the types of draft tube. Suppose in question exams they may ask theory part also for 5 marks question. Suppose if you give A and B, they may ask. Mostly they won't ask because many problems are available in this unit. Because many turbines are also available here types, so definitely they'll ask on the turbines only. But in case if someone will give you the question on this draft tube, you should be ready to write something. So that's why I'm showing these also. Okay, so these are the types of the draft tubes. Next we have to find the pressure created in the draft tube, so that we need to know one equation. Nothing but we need to find the pressure of the draft tube. Nothing but pressure at the inlet of the draft tube or the pressure at the outlet of the draft tube we need to know, right? So next this is the derivation part, which is not that much important, but the only thing we need to remember is the last formula we can remember, right? So how we got this is nothing but we are considering this draft tube as a pipe, just a pipe. Already we have seen in pipes by applying we have found many pressure heads, kinetic head, and everything by using your Bernoulli's equation. So same concept here we are going to use for the draft tube also, right? So what we are going to consider is this is a conical type of draft tube, right? So where some part of the draft tube is inserted or immersed in the tail race, so there some pressure will be there, that is taken as Y pressure head. I mean head, rho g, P by rho g we are taking the value. Pressure head value is Y there, and the pressure head value at the section 1 is equal to this HS we are considering, right? So what you can see, they are considering a conical draft tube with HS as the vertical height of the draft tube above the tail race. This is above the tail race, and Y is the distance of the bottom part in the tail race, from the tail race, from the bottom from the tail race, right? So if you are considering this inlet as your nothing but this is the turbine from where the water comes at here. Inlet will be here, right? So inlet I am taking as section 1, and at the outlet I am taking it as section 2. So what we can do, we can apply Bernoulli's equation at the section 1 and 2. So already we know the Bernoulli's equation, P by rho g plus V square, sorry, P1 by rho g plus V1 square by 2g plus Z1 at the section 1 should be equated to P2 by rho g plus V2 square by 2g plus Z2. And if any losses are there, frictional losses or something, we need to take plus HF, right? So this is the thing, general form, P1 by rho g plus V1 square by 2g plus Z1 is equals to P2 by rho g plus V2 square by 2g plus Z2 plus losses HF, right? So here if Z1, if you are considering the datum line as this part, if you are taking datum line of this one, nothing but at the outlet if you are taking as datum line, right? So here we are taking it as datum line. So Z1 is nothing but HS plus Y becomes Z1 value, and Z2 at the outlet becomes 0 because we are considering this as a datum line, right? Applying the Bernoulli's equation at inlet and outlet of the draft tube and taking section 2 as your datum line, what we get P by rho g plus V1 square by 2g plus Z1 is nothing but this height, how much height from the datum you need to take for this first section. So it is HS plus Y is equals to, at the section 2 if you take P2 by rho g plus V2 square by 2g plus datum head, it is joining the datum line. So there won't be any Z2 value which will be equal to 0 plus losses which is HF, right? But if you see at the outlet, always there will be a atmospheric pressure only. Atmospheric pressure only will come out of the draft tube. So we can take P2 by rho g as PA by rho g plus this value of Y. How much head is after coming from here only the water starts out. So pressure head available at here, PA by rho g plus whatever the depth which is kept inside the tail race, that is plus Y. So PA by rho g plus Y is taken as your P2 value, right? So PA pressure, atmospheric pressure head plus how much height it is immersed should be taken as your pressure head at the outlet, second part, right? So now what we can do, we can substitute these values here. So from this Y and Y gets cancelled. Here HS plus Y will be there for the Z1. So both will be cancelled. So you'll get finally, you'll get P1 by rho g, nothing but pressure head at the inlet. You can see it is always less than the atmospheric pressure because you can see it is nothing but atmospheric pressure head minus something is there. So that means That means P1 by rho g is always less than the atmospheric pressure. Nothing but there will be always the less than atmospheric pressure inside the draft tube at the inlet. That is the meaning there, right? So to send that less atmospheric pressure out, we need to use a draft tube, right? So that's why we are using a draft tube, which allows the vacuum pressure. You can tell it as below atmospheric pressure means vacuum pressure. To send it out, the water should come out with that. We are using your draft tube there, right? So no need to remember anything. So just we need to remember this final formula. So P1 by rho g equal to PA by rho g minus HS minus V1 square by 2g minus V2 square by 2g minus HF. So this is very easy. You can see from here. Just you will get all other terms this side. Only P1 by rho g should be kept here. So you will get all minus values except PA by rho g, right? PA by rho g. And here this V2 square by 2g minus is taken as outside. So it becomes minus, or you can keep as it is, no issues. V2 square by 2g minus V1 square by 2g minus HS minus HF. Depending upon you, you can remember. So if you remember this, it will be very easy, right? So already we know, since y and y gets cancelled, P1 by rho g plus V1 square by 2g plus HS is equals to PA by rho g plus V2 square by 2g plus HF. Okay. Right. So now we understood P1 by rho g will be always less than the atmospheric pressure inside the draft tube. Okay. So now we need to know the efficiency of draft tube formula, right? So efficiency of draft tube formula is this one, final formula, which is nothing but it is a ratio of actual conversion of kinetic head into pressure head by kinetic head at the outlet. So same, you can remember this. V1 square by 2g minus V2 square by 2g minus HF by V1 square by 2g. So till now, they never asked any problem from the draft tube, but just I'm explaining a small problem also in this. If you want, I'll explain. Otherwise, we'll go for the next topic. Or at the end of the, today we'll finish this 4th unit. If time permits, I'll tell the problem on the draft tube at the end. Okay. Right. So now let's go to the last topic of our 4th unit, which are called as unit quantities. Time is 50 minutes available, so we can complete a problem also, no problem. So we'll complete a problem on the draft tube also, very easy, right? So these two things you need to remember. One is this one or this one, anyone. P1 by rho g plus V1 by 2g by HS. I think this will be easy to remember. So if you remember this, automatically from this that you can find P1 by rho g. Right. Okay. So this is the formula for efficiency. Okay. So a small problem will do. A water turbine has a velocity of 6 meters per second at the entrance to the draft tube. So directly we'll start with the thing what we want. From the draft tube only we are considering. So from draft tube, if you see what he has given, inlet velocity we need to consider. Nothing but at section 1 it is 6 meters per second and a velocity of 1.2 meters per second at the exit. So velocity at the exit is 1.2 meters per second. At the exit. So for frictional losses of 0.1. So HF is given 0.1 meter and a tail raise water of 5 meters above the entrance. So here capital HS value is given already. So above tail raise it is 5 meters. Below the entrance to the draft tube, find the pressure head at the entrance. So what he's asking, he's asking the pressure head. So P1 by rho g is asking P1 by rho g equal to how much, right? So this we need to find. Okay, and here below the bottom, this is y, right? So in formula, we are not getting any y time, so no need to remember. So directly what we can use the formula for that pressure head by applying the Bernoulli's equation. So right, so I'm taking that by applying the Bernoulli's equation. What we'll get P1 by rho g plus V1 square by 2g plus HS equal to P2 by rho g plus V1 square, sorry, V2 square by 2g. Here it is H Z value, it will be Z 0. So HF, left is HF. right? So if you remember this, we can find P1 by rho g. And one more thing, what we need to do is, instead of P2, we need to take it as atmospheric pressure head, that is PA by rho g. PA by rho g plus V2 square by 2g plus HF. Right, so this is the same condition we can apply. Right, so here, since he has not given any atmospheric pressure values here, so I'm taking atmospheric pressure head as 0. So take PA by rho g as 0, sorry, not rho, PA. PA by rho g. If you're taking PA by rho g equal to 0, nothing but if it is 0, then we can find P1 by rho g. So P1 by rho g equal to these two terms minus these two terms. V2 square by 2g plus HF minus V1 square by 2g minus HS. Okay, so please calculate the value of this. So definitely you will get the value less than 0, nothing but you'll get negative value of P1 by rho g, because already I said the pressure at the inlet of the draft tube will be less than the atmospheric pressure. So atmospheric pressure only I'm taking it as 0. If I'm taking the atmospheric pressure it as 0, so this value will definitely come in negative. So we'll get P1 by rho g in terms of negative. So please check the answer. Substitute the values of V2. So V2 is given as 1.2 and V1 is 6 meters. All the values if you substitute, and just tell me the value of P1 by rho g. No need to substitute any rho g here. Tell me P1 by rho g value, because he's asking the pressure head only, not pressure head at the entrance.
Sir, it is 0.6, sir. 0.604.
0.6. Check it properly once again. You're getting any minus value, Sai Prasad?
No, sir.
You're not getting any minus value. What is V2 value? 1.2. 1.2 square by 2 into 9.81 plus HF is 0.1.
Then it is minus 6.661, sir.
Right, that is correct. What you have done? You're not taken any 2G value?
No, sir. I took 12, sir. 1.2.
Okay, here you have taken 12. It is 1.2. 1.2 meter per second. Okay, so it is minus 6.66 meter. Right, so why
Yes,
we
sir.
got here minus? Because I said already inside the draft tube at the inlet it will be less than the atmospheric pressure head. So since already we are taken below this, so it should be definitely below that. Below 0 means minus only, so minus value will come. So we can tell that it is vacuum pressure inside. Okay, so that's all. Just hold on a minute. Yes, please copy this one. Within 2 minutes, again, the session will be expired. You can join again. Then we'll start our last topic of the 4th unit.